2,000 kilometers of racing all over southern Africa.
And dust, water, mountains, rivers and grinding distances.
The last race of the 2008 Absa off-road season had arrived.
The RFS Magalies 400, race 8 of the season.
Charlton International Raceway had never seen anything quite like it, and nor had the sleepy little hollow of Magalies.
But that didn't mean that they weren't ready.
The overall championship was poised to be decided in the final race of the year. There was only 4 points that covered the top 3 contenders, and it had all come down to this: the last 400 kilometers of racing in the last race of the season. It was a classic matchup. Neil Woolridge and Kenny Scholthammer in the Ford, Hannes Grobler and Joan Moore in the one Nissan, and defending champions Duncan Voss and Ralph Pitchford in the other.
The new sponsor RFS is a retirement solutions company and have dabbled in sponsorship in motorsport for a while, most notably with the RFS Econorun for motorbikes, and have decided to put their name to an event again.
Yes, I think that was actually the idea. We are motorsport fanatics, and we thought that it's a good idea to put RFS as a company on the map through the sponsorship, and we hope that we can do it in future again.
So for RFS, it's marketing, media exposure and public relations that you gain.
Absolutely, yes. You know that we are in the pension fund industry, and what we do is one of our biggest clients is in the road freight industry, so they are closely related to transport, and we thought it's a good idea to put something back here.
The Pietermaritzburg-based Ford Ranger team, the 2 former champions Neil Woolridge and Kenny Scholthammer, didn't notch up any wins, but they got it to the line in one piece every time, and never worse than third. Consistency was how they got to lead the log, but only by 3 points. But they wanted to win desperately.
This is what we've been working for all year, so it's down to the final one, and we've done all our work. We've done all our work through the year, so much more we can't do. So it's sort of in our hands now to do the final one. Hopefully the weather holds out. But in saying that, if it rains, it sort of levels the playing grounds a little bit for everyone. They can throw in all sorts of things. So we don't really mind what happens, but yeah, it's final one, all or nothing.
Conversely, Midrand-based Nissan have clinched 7 successive driver and co-drivers championships and 6 manufacturers' crowns since 2001. But that didn't mean they were sleeping on their laurels.
I must admit that the last 2 nights, I didn't sleep very well. But yeah, you know, it's a big thing. I'd like to still win the championship, and it's very, very close. And no one of the front 3 guys can say that they're definitely going to win it. But we're going to give it our best try.
So what will the tactic be, Hannes? Is it flat out from the word go, or will you sit back and wait to see what the others do?
I think what will happen is we'll see today after the prologue where we lie, and then we'll play it from there. If we are reasonably in the front, I think we're going to just do a brisk pace tomorrow, and yeah, and stay in touch with the other guys that's in contention for the championship.
Nissan have won 6 of the 7 rounds of the 08 Championship, taking their winning tally to a massive 50 victories in 63 races, and were ready to do it again. As for Toyota, they were ready to upset the form book and all the other carts in the bunch.
Just going down to Wai with a lot of the guys coming down to the final event. I'm really looking forward to it. It's a new event, so it's new for everybody. And yeah, we're coming out here to give it all.
This will be a nice time to pick up another win for Toyota.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's definitely overdue. We're hoping that we're going to get a result fairly soon. We've had a couple of gremlins through the year again, and yeah, I think we need a bit of lady luck, and I think things will turn. I mean, the Bucky's feeling really great. We've been testing a couple of times, and it really, I think it's made it a big improvement. So we'll see what the race brings us.
In Class D in the Rhobi, Nissan, Henry and Maurice Matten had already made space for the silverware at home. They led by 35 points and had it all sewn up. They were still looking for win number 5, though.
We're in a bit of a quandary at the moment. We'd like to be wingman to Kutsia now, that, you know, to make sure that he comes second in the championship, you know, to make sure we get that right. But that might be easier said than done, because the Nissan team orders are to try and get as many manufacturers' points as possible. So that means we have to go flat out to try and get a very good overall position. So I think we'll probably do a bit of both. We'll try and go as fast as we can, get an overall position, and then somehow make sure that we help make sure that Kutsia wins or at least comes second in the Class D.
Kutsia Labuskachny and Johan Gerber in their Raceonics Nissan were second, but wanted to hold on for dear life, as the chasers Ramon and Maret Bezuidenhout in the Barbaspan Toyota were just 7 points behind.
The special vehicle class and 3 contenders within 24 points of each other. The dice between Kali Silva, Chamir Varioa and Terence Marsh was one to really look forward to.
Yes, and we're loving it. It's nice to be in the lead. So we're going to try and see if we can't take the bull by the horns again. The last race is always important. It's the end of the season. And flat racing, it looks like. Car suited for that. Car's really set up well for this race. So we're hoping for a good result.
Tactically, what are your options for the race? Have you made up your minds about how you want to play it?
Yes, that's... we're not sure what to do. I think what we will do is to keep a level head and take it as it comes. We'll obviously have to do a good prologue, trying to get out in front, not really completely in front, but we'll try to do a good prologue, and then we'll see from there. We haven't been in this situation before, so we'll play it as we go along.
For the brothers White, David and Gary in the Rubicon Bat, the championship race in Class P was delicately poised.
That's right. We like to combine second with Don Blakey, and 10 points difference to the Bezuidenhout brothers. It's going to be tough. I think the Bezuidenhout brothers got the overhand at this stage with the points leads, but we're just going to go out there flat out today and see where we end and see what happens with how the whole thing plays out at the end of the day.
Whatever the category, whatever the point scenario, it would be a long and testing 400 Ks in the surrounds of the Magaliesberg. Prologue starting positions were drawn for, and Grobler had to take 5.
For Castle Toyota's Mark Grenier, national rally champion as well, number 1 came up. And it meant a dust-free ride over the 76 kilometers to determine starting positions proper. There was a briefing to ensure that each of the teams knew exactly what was required of them.
And then there was also a novel innovation. The off-roaders were going to try their hand at the quarter mile at the Tarleton Raceway. The local funny car pilot showed off the off-road brigade just how to negotiate the fast and flat-out 400 meters charge. It was impressive and very noisy.
Grenier and his co-driver Chris Birkin were up against their teammates Chris Visser and Jaapie Badenhorst in the Toyota Hilux. And even though the utility vehicles are slightly slower off the mark, once they get going, they can really lay down the rubber.
Grenier edging his multiple track champion stablemate by 20/100ths of a second.
Woolridge and Scholthammer were up against the defending national off-road champion Duncan Voss and Ralph Pitchford, with the fire engine red Sasol Nissan Navara getting the jump, and it's a nose ahead from the off.
It was the fastest clocking of the afternoon, proving that Voss and his chariot was ready to do some serious battle to defend the title.
And on the prologue, he proved it.
The ultra-competitive Voss is a fitness fanatic and a stickler for things being done right. The prologue was a way for him to grab the early psychological dominance, and he and Pitchford went off like the clappers.
Taylor and Houghton too were eager to move up from the outside of the top 10 and score some big points on the last event of the year.
They and their teammate Grenier, with the veteran navigator Birkin next to him, were also mindful of the manufacturers' championship battle, which was a battle between them and Nissan, with only a handful of points the difference.
They would get some fine backing from the third factory Toyota, that of Chris Visser and Jaapie Badenhorst, who were 5th on the overall points log with 62 points.
The Toyota camp have also received amazing backup from their privateers, notably the De Bruins, Hugo and Jaap in the Mickelin XL dealer Team Toyota, who have been very solid this season.
And there were also a lot of drivers up there looking out for Ivar Tollefson and Quinn Evans in the third Sasol Nissan Navara.
Woolridge and Scholthammer too were quite a long way back and would eventually finish 7th in the prologue run.
But they had a problem because they had to puncture 15 Ks from the end. They were followed by Kobus van Tonder and Louis Weichelt standing in for Rian Guapa in the second Ford Ranger. They clocked 51 minutes and 38 seconds.
Grobler had more begging for him to slow down. It was fast and it was furious.
Keep real left there, keep real sharp left there. Slow down, slow down, slow down. 200 meters, turn left.
Unfortunately, this duo also had a double puncture 20 k's from the end and probably eventually took 9th place and 10th place on the SP log. It was the husband and wife team of George and Sharon Barkhazen in their Rubicon Toyota.
For Ryobi Nissan's Matin brothers, the cautious yet quick approach was doing the trick.
Going Class D champion Cliff Weicheldt in N1 4x4 was going quickly to 1 minute and 40 seconds back.
Despite some good early summer rains, the dust would be a huge factor in the Magalies area. And as Kutsia Labuskachmi and Johan Garbe in the Race Sonics Nissan streaked towards our camera, it was clear that driving too close to someone would be a severe disadvantage.
The sponsors Chris de Plooy and Ewald van Rensburg in the RFS Toyota Hilux gave the crowd even more value as they flew it a long way in front of the Tartan grandstand.
With Class E's prologue leaders Wynand van der Linde and Seerfie van Skalkbeek causing a bit of an upset as they were 40 seconds ahead of the more fancied crews.
And we figure they may just be Blue Bull supporters.
Okay.
The incumbent national champions Jannie Visser and Joks Leroux in the Castor Toyota was one of those, but they were obviously taking it easy out there, trying to save the car for the long haul on the Saturday.
Brothers Deirdrick and Dani Hutting, another privateer team in a Toyota, were in third, just 25 ticks of the clock over the hour mark.
But at the sharp end of the field, ensuring a dust-free ride for Nissan, it was defending national champion Duncan Voss. Clearly no team orders out there from team manager Glenn Hall, with the other title contenders in the Ford Ranger almost 2 minutes behind and Grobler almost 3 minutes back after both suffering those punctures.
In the specials, there was an epic battle in the offing. The outgoing national champs Evan Hutchison and Achim Bergman came up with a late act of defiance as they set the fastest pace for the specials and overall, a blistering 47 minutes and 45-second clocking.
They were chased all the way home by the prologue specialists Gary Bertelt and Andre Vermeulen in the first of the big turquoise Atlas Copco Porters, who were exactly 6 seconds behind. The racing was on, as the Silworth cockpit camera proved.
Well, they are racing in Gauteng after all.
Oh, sorry. And now I guess the next line should be that they never tire of going hard.
Oh, stop it.
Sorry. Well, Colin Matthews and Alan Smith were treading lightly and going quickly. They took 4th place in the Century Properties Development Bat.
With title contender Shamir Variawa and Siegfried Rousseau just 7 seconds behind them in their Total Motorsport Porter PR1 with its rather large 7-litre engine, but they battled with brake failure.
Class P now, and Don Thompson and Gary Campbell in their Zarko impressed with an ultra-fast prologue clocking, needing to establish dominance early on. That they certainly got right.
And the championship battle lines were drawn when the log leaders, brothers Johan and Etienne Bezuidenhout, took second in Class B in their silver Adenko bat, 28 seconds behind.
And outgoing champion Richard Schilling, who did not have a great racing year, came charging by in third, 1 minute and 10 seconds behind Thompson in Class P.
In Class B, just a minute separated defending champ Jan Kraai and Tito Voort in the Keymax Property bat.
And the Rubicon bat pairing of Louw de Bruin and Rudy Brits. Voort was leading the co-drivers championship, while de Bruin set the pace for the driver stakes. A great matchup was on the go there too.
And Derek du Toit and Ian Pienaar took third in the class, leaving former champ Giel Nel and Dion de Kock with a mountain to climb to win the championship.
But it was the Motorite bat pair, Hutchison and Bergman, who were trying to upset the spread of points at the top to decide the championship. The Silworths were also just 6 seconds slower and showing real intent early on.
Vehicle and asset finance from